dive into authentic conversations about ourselves and our community, exploring topics that uplift and inspire us, from personal growth to social change. So grab your teacup and get ready to join the conversation.
No putting the genie back in the box when it comes to these types of high-profile cases.
Yeah, there is that distinction between when you see an artist sketch versus live coverage 24/7. I mean, even comparing it to a Karen retrial. I mean, someone who's not a celebrity, but people get wrapped up in the court process. So certainly this is favoring Combs just to be an artist sketch. So I think there are...
But also not necessarily just favoring Sean Diddy Combs. The judge probably prefers that because it probably, they feel, will allow this process to be 100% fair. That way you can also avoid to this.
So I want to get into her exact testimony, right? And sip that tea. So I'm looking for that distinctively. If you guys have that, please, please, please send that to me, okay? That's what I'm looking for distinctively. Let me see.
There was also a level of manipulation. There was also a level of her wanting to please him. Sean Combs is seen in the sketch taking notes during the morning arguments in his trafficking trial in New York City. Combs of rape and SA could ruin his career. Asked by defense lawyers what
so many commercials.
Okay. His career after she filed, Ventura responded, "That's a lie." Prosecutors objected to that question. Defense lawyers then rephrased, asking if she understood how the publicity surrounding the lawsuit ruined his career. Ventura responded, "I can understand that." The defense asked Cassie Ventura to confirm that Combs both built up and knocked down her confidence, citing text messages between the pair. Ventura agreed, also acknowledging that Combs called her a queen. Words were helpful, she said. He got that inspiring energy inside of him. And we've seen it. Other artists, other people that have been around Diddy will talk about that. This is why he was the main guy to go to party with, because he was like a great hype man. Combs needed to be constantly updated about Ventura's whereabouts, perhaps concerned that she was stepping out on their relationship, the witness said. When asked what would trigger a spike in telephone calls from Combs, Ventura said it could be for any number of reasons. Could be anything from not telling him where I was, angry about me, could be anything. Maybe he assumed I was cheating, she said. I don't know. Also, I don't know if he knew the relationship between Ryan Leslie and her, and she's flying down, being with him, and now you slept with him. Now he's probably always thinking, oh, she did that to Ryan, do that to me, possibly. Not to say that Diddy was innocent either, because she also testified that he was with many other women, her thinking that she was the only one, but he was with other women. When asked if she believed the volume of calls spiked when Combs theorized Ventura was cheating, she said yes. Cassie Ventura alleged during testimony that while Combs was a wealthy businessman and record executive, he was doing so under the influence of drugs. He needed to recover, Ventura told the courtroom, referring to Combs' alleged drug abuse. Ventura also accused Combs of also using ecstasy and cocaine. Asked whether she thought Combs was a drug addict, Ventura responded, "I would say he was an addict." She answered yes when defense attorneys asked if Combs would become angry or volatile during withdrawals. "I'm not a doctor. Coming off of certain pills, he would be pretty irritated," Ventura testified. And allegedly, they said when he was arrested, they found some of that pink powder in his hotel room. And my thing is, if he was this addicted to drugs, I can't even imagine that he had stopped. Okay.
No, he had it.
U.S. District Judge
alleged when he got arrested in New York, knowing that the feds had raided him, knowing that the feds were looking for him, wanting to talk to him, he still was parading around with the pink cocaine on his purse in his hotel room. When they arrested him, the video of the footage of him at the hotel, he looked like he wanted to run. Like, oh my God, I'm caught. Like you would catch a rat in a corner and they'd be like, I'm trying to run. Yeah, that was Diddy.
Aaron Subramanian called for a lunchtime recess and asked jurors to return to the courtroom at 1 p.m. Eastern. The judge told the lawyers he wasn't happy with the pace of Ventura's examination. Because he wants the 8 months pregnant woman to be done sooner rather than later.
Well, of course, Diddy does not want this salacious testimony about the ins and outs of the relationship. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the word love is thrown around in there. Yeah, he may have given himself the name love, but not for nothing. Diddy was anything and everything but that, right? So, of course, Cassie being one of his very long time living girlfriends, women in his life, right? To like the most current recent stuff from the past decade of what Diddy's life has been, she can testify to that. And no, of course, Diddy does not want that. Okay.
When the defense said that they would need all day today and all day tomorrow, the judge angrily responded, "That is the exact opposite of what I was told."
Keep being lazy about cleaning your apartment.
I understand that the judge has a job, the defense, the prosecutors have a job, and God does. So if Cassie wants to give birth on a stand right now, she will. Because that's just what that does.
Damn. This judge means business. Because remember, he had told Garagos that what you said on your podcast is inappropriate. And he said, you have a new listener. I was like, damn, this judge does not play. The witness needed to be off the stand by the end of the week. So what happened? The clearly perturbed judge said. So he agrees with the prosecution that he would like Cassie to be done by tomorrow. So they're going to have to really get to it this week, between now and tomorrow. So the opening hours of Cassie Ventura's cross-examination were a bit of a slog, with the defense questioning, jumping around in subject and timeline, and frequently interrupted by prosecution's objections. Those starts and stops appeared to hinder Combs' lawyer, Anna Estavo, from smoothly making the defense's case that Ventura was often a willing participant in the witness's seemingly abusive relationship with the defendant. And Ventura appeared to have caught on to the defense line of questioning. She often interjected qualifying terms such as "at the time" to frame her relationship with Combs as a complicated one that could toggle between caring and violent. So they, of course, prepared Cassie for this as well. All right. So they do also show photos that Justin Combs, Quincy, and King Combs also leave the courthouse. Janice Combs was also there as well. The thing that I mentioned on Twitter in regards to this is the fact that we have not seen the twins or Chance, his daughters, at the courthouse the last couple of days. And part of me was sort of like, was this because so many people have been saying, why are you allowing your daughters to hear some of this very explicit freak off events and things like that. Like, we understand the boys are older, but these are 18 and 19-year girls. To be honest with you, I wouldn't want my mother, I wouldn't want children to hear any of this stuff. Okay. However, I noticed that the last couple of days we have not seen the twins and Chance. Law and Crime mentioned the fact that the twins were preparing for prom and graduation and things like that. So that could be part of the reason, but now we don't see anyone else there. I also saw that Misa, through her attorneys, Misa Hilton, through her attorney, said the only reason why she went, I don't believe she's been there since day one. The only reason why she went was to be there as a support for her son, Justin, and for the other children. Okay. All right. So let's get back into this. The judge appears to still be agitated from the back and forth he had with Combs' attorney prior to the break. His agitation stems from the speed in which the defense is questioning Cassie Ventura. The judge sternly reminded the defense that it was given a day and a half to cross-examine Ventura, who is 8 months pregnant, and that she should be done by the end of the week. So he agrees with the prosecution. Combs' attorney, Mark Agnafilo, argued that Ventura should be able to come back Monday morning if needed. Okay, the judge shot back. In what universe did you not understand this was what was going to happen? Damn. You're not telling me this wasn't everyone's understanding that this witness was going to be done this week. Ventura was reviewing exhibits in a side room while the exchange took place. Cassie Ventura testified that during her relationship with Combs, she became jealous of his ex-girlfriend, Kim Porter. Ventura admitted to the jealousy after being asked by the defense attorney if Combs ever left a freak off with her only to visit Porter afterward. Ventura agreed that she was upset about not having the chance to form a relationship with Combs' children, despite having a relationship with him for 7 years at that point. Ventura also acknowledged that it could be heartbreaking seeing Porter with the children and that she wanted to be a part of the Combs family, not just his sexual fantasy. Just picture that, because he has all these kids and you're not allowed to engage or get to know them. So what does that make you feel like? And again, for those that like to sit here and judge Cassie, some of y'all are in similar situations. It's just not a high profile individual. Some of y'all have never even met some of these people's friends, best friends, family, mothers, whatever it may be. And we're talking 7 years in and Cassie hasn't been able to connect with them. Wow. Ventura said of Porter, "I had some jealousy." Cassie Ventura says that things got a little scary when Combs found out that she was cheating on him. She also admitted to being upset when she found out that Combs was spending time with a woman named Gina in 2014. Ventura said the infidelity prompted arguments. Cassie admits to keeping a burner phone while she was dating rapper Kid Cudi, to keeping the relationship private and away from Combs. And I believe that relationship with Kid Cudi only lasted like a month. "I thought it would be way too dangerous if he found out," she said. As she was dating Cudi, Ventura said that she continued to have freak-offs with Combs because to her, it was a job. Can you imagine where your head is in regards to that? Even though she was dating Kid Cudi, but she was still doing this with Sean or for Sean. When Combs found out about Cudi while going through her phone during one of the freak-offs, Ventura said that Combs attacked her. Cassie says that Combs kicked her in the back at his house after finding out that she was cheating on him with rapper Kid Cudi in 2011. When asked by Combs' attorney if her relationship with Cudi drove Mr. Combs crazy, Ventura replied, "To my knowledge, it wasn't good." She confirmed that Combs was especially offended by the affair with Cudi because of his status within the music industry. She added that suspicions and grievances over infidelity came up repeatedly throughout their relationship. Mind you, Diddy's over here with how many different baby mamas literally during their relationship. Cassie Ventura told the jury that Combs suspected being in a relationship with actor Michael B. Jordan. So there are a lot of names that are being brought up during this trial. Okay. Asked what Combs' reaction was to the alleged relationship, Ventura said, I wasn't there to see it. Ventura said that she couldn't remember if Combs tried to text her about him, but he did try to make contact. When I think about this, though, didn't Michael B. Jordan date Lori Harvey?
Yep.
And then didn't Sean Combs at one particular point have like this relationship with Lori Harvey?
Yep. And did it Lori Harvey also have a relationship in the same night with Puffy's son? Rumor has it she went from her Puffy's kid's son's room, one of his sons, to his room after she pleasured Puffy's son. She turned around and went to Puffy's bedroom and also, you know, had intercourse with Puffy as well. Okay? Rumor has it.
Was that in order to get a dig at Michael B. Jordan? Okay. I'm just connecting the dots and speculation.
Probably.
So she said he tried to make contact. Cassie described Combs' reaction to her taking illicit drugs without him as explosive. Ventura added that he told his drug dealers in LA to stop giving her drugs. Cassie Ventura testified that she sent text messages to Combs' chief of staff, KK, Christina Curran, about an incident in which he allegedly dangled someone over a balcony. So we've heard that infamous story for a very long time. People speculated that it was Wale. Wale had said that it wasn't him. Ventura acknowledging hearing about Combs supposedly dangling.
Wale confirmed that it was not himself who was dangled out of a window over a balcony by Diddy. Well, once it was tension between Wale and Diddy at a music studio where he sent her, Cassie, to work with Wale at the time, or however have you, Wale was around. Diddy walked in. Wale got shook because Diddy thought that, you know, his interaction with Cassie was a little bit more flirtatious than it should have been. And then did y'all just run to he threw him out over a balcony? Or was that not what happened? Because Wale could say it didn't happen, but it did, and just be embarrassed behind the fact that Diddy dangled his ass out of a window. But whatever.
Brianna Bogolan over a balcony after the fact, but still reached out to a person in Combs' inner circle. I did text that. There were other crazy things that happened, Ventura told the court, adding she couldn't remember the name of the person she sent the text to. I saw what I saw, so I don't know.
Dear Dr. K, I used to think I was never meant to be beautiful. I was teased because of my teeth. I didn't like.
So Combs once overdosed. So this was some, for lack of a better word, tea that came out in her testimony. So apparently Combs once overdosed on painkillers, and the drug dependence fueled some of the rapper's mood swings, she said. During this cross-examination by defense lawyer Anna Estavo, Ventura was asked if Combs ever overdosed and if she was ever addicted. Ventura answered yes to both. And when the defense asked if Combs' mood swings were tied to pills, Ventura affirmatively replied it was a part of it. Ventura confirmed to the court that there were never any drugs contained in the baby oil. Okay, so this was a question that I asked, I think in like day 2 or day 3. I can't at this particular point remember everything. So she's confirming that the baby oil did not have drugs. You remember that? That was one of the rumors. So Cassie confirmed to the court that there was never any drugs contained in the baby oil used during the freak-offs with Combs. Combs was accused in a lawsuit last year of spiking the lubricant with GHB, commonly referred to as the date grape drug. All right. And as I take a little bit of a break from this, I do want to remind you guys, for those that enjoy hot topics or reality TV recaps, the Kempire After Dark, the villain era, is coming to a city near you. First of all, Philly. I'm coming there on July 10th. Atlanta. I'm coming there on August 5th. I have another August date that I can't yet announce, And then I'm coming back to New York City on Friday, September 12th. Ticket information is available in the description. Tickets officially go on sale for Atlanta and Philly tomorrow.
So Kim Pyre's wrapping up.
In order to just numb her pain. And yesterday we told you that she said because of the constantness of these freak offs, she had UTIs, she had sores in her mouth. Like she went through a lot. Cassie Ventura told the court that Combs expressed concern about getting caught in the matrix, their code for getting too high during freak-offs. Ventura proposed a shorter freak-off session.
And I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to reiterate on that point right there. I'm sure it was a drug-fueled mess when they were together. So many years of drug usage between Cassie and Diddy. I'm sure there's a lot more than met the eye. That from that hotel video, okay?
A session at the Intercontinental Hotel to avoid getting too high before her film premiere. A matrix is like the high, and we would be getting too high for anything sexual to happen. There would be no performance, Ventura said during court. They continue, says Cassie Ventura was asked by the defense if she took a bad batch of MDMA, which is ecstasy, at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles hotel before Combs was caught on camera doing what he did to her in 2016. Ventura responded that she didn't recall exactly what she took or how the freak-off began at the hotel. That testimony brought an end to a grueling day of cross-examination that will continue Friday morning. So U.S. District Court Judge Aaron Subramanian is urging Combs' lawyers to wrap up their questions for the 8-month pregnant witness. We will try to narrow it down defense lawyer Mark Agnifilo said. This is a critical witness, and I will come back in the morning and give you an estimate. It is an important and a very important case, is what he says to the judge. Well, look, he's got to push back. His job is to defend Diddy, and they want to be able to keep her up there because they probably have a whole lot of questions. They want to build a case against Cassie and to make her out to be this person that is not credible. And she is a key witness in their case. Some may say, a lot of legal experts have said, she is the reason that these federal charges were brought against him. So they want to discredit.
And so far, have we heard anything, sippers, conspiring to X traffic in the case so far? Drop your tea in the chat. Let me know what you guys feel.
They discredit her. They pretty much wrap this case up. But we shall see. Again, the prosecution bringing Cassie out so early on could be practical, or it could be we have a lot more. And just when I thought I was done, let me come back, because not only will Aubrey O'Day be testifying allegedly, we don't know yet. They said that Dawn Richard is expected to be the next witness for the government. Remember I said that, I think it's in yesterday's video. They said Dawn Richard, a former member of the group Danny Kane, is expected to take the witness stand on Friday once lawyers finish questioning Ventura. I don't know if they will get to Dawn Richard. If they're trying to finish up with Cassie, I don't think that she will be testifying
Not this week,
tomorrow,
maybe.
but definitely next week. So they said that Dawn Richard, a former member of the girl group Danny Kane, is expected to take the witness stand on Friday once lawyers finish questioning Ventura. Prosecutor Maureen Comey said Richard last year filed a lawsuit against Combs accusing him of groping, assaulting, and imprisoning her. Here's the thing. I said this yesterday that possibly that Dawn Richard could be testifying because, remember, she said in her own lawsuit, witnessing Diddy punch Cassie in the stomach at a dinner. I'm not 100% completely surprised. Guys, as always, let's continue this conversation in the comment section. I want to know your thoughts and opinions.
We're going to wrap up with Kim Pyre. Thank you so much, Kim Pyre, for that great, riveting understanding of what's been going on inside the courtroom on the stand. Okay, let's go over to Law and Crime and see where they are this morning, guys. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. I've been live for like 3 or 4 hours, right? Just catching up on everything that is Diddy's trial. Okay, missed a couple of days, have my own personal affairs to deal with while I am being blessed in my life, minimal stress, working through any mess. We're gonna go over to live Cassie Ventura testimony Diddy's ex trafficking trial. Okay. Let's see where they are on day 5 and jump in here and get this tea. I really want to thank everybody that has been sipping tea with me. We're at 80,000 views in a month, guys. That's incredible. I've only been back on YouTube for a month, okay? I've got about 70 new subscribers, which is really wonderful. You guys have been sipping tea with me in my comment section. That is very satisfying to comment with you guys and see what all you guys are thinking and sipping as far as everything going on. Let's see where they are with what's been going on today, because we know that Law and Crime likes to watch the courthouse for hours before they get to their commentary. So we're going to get right to the commentary they're updating us with today, okay? Let's see. And it's up right now.
Judge does not want her coming back next week, so it's all going to be wrapped up today. We expect Elizabeth Milner, our in-court reporter, to be coming out shortly. She'll give us a recap about what she saw, what she heard in that courtroom. As you know, there are no cameras in that courtroom. There's no audio recording in that courtroom. So this is our best bet to report to you in real time about what is happening in that courtroom. Now, I said her cross-examination. The cross-examination of Cassandra Ventura continued. So this is alleged victim number 1 in this case, supporting the charges of racketeering, sex trafficking, prostitution. She is being cross-examined by Diddy's defense attorney, Anna Estevao. Interesting cross-examination today. She was questioned about this audio tape of her where she's allegedly threatening somebody who may have had a video of a freak-off, maybe was going to release it, threatened to kill this person. Jonathan Oddie, person we've talked a lot about on Sidebar. This is a guy who allegedly shot up one of the Trump properties years ago, said that he was a sex slave of Diddy. Nobody believed it at the time. Well, a lot of people talk about him now. His name came up today as potentially being the source of this video. It does go to the idea, though, that Sean Combs may have made sure that this video never got not as a way, as the prosecution would say, to cover up evidence of his crimes, remember the racketeering, criminal enterprise, all that, but rather he wanted to protect Cassandra Ventura. And there's a lot of that today. There's a lot of that love between the two of them. Apparently, she said on the stand she doesn't even hate Diddy to this day. There was a lot of discussion of Diddy going to rehab. There was also an interesting back and forth about whether she went to memory therapy. So we're going to take your questions right now. A lot to discuss. I'm not going to do it alone. I am joined right now by SiriusXM host Mina Sewat-Lona. Great to see you, Mina. Thanks so much for taking the time. And trial attorney Ben Chu, who, as we know, famously represented Johnny Depp in his very high-profile trial. So, okay, Mina, I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this week. It's an interesting week. We are getting a glimpse into a very different lifestyle, very similar to how we got into a glimpse of the celebrity lifestyle in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. What are you taking away from, let's say, the cross-examination of Cassandra Ventura this week? And, just generally what she had to say under direct.
I think it's really painting a different side of the relationship. The prosecution did a good job of highlighting some of the volatile things that happened in the relationship, some of the things that might be consistent with what he's being charged with. But the defenses are really trying to humanize Diddy and really have it come across that they were in a complicated relationship that we may not understand, something called voyeurism, but they're trying to establish that there was a relationship there, that there were feelings and love there, and just really soften the time that they spent together.
And Ben, what is your take on it? Because I'm curious. I've been asking people, has this cross-examination changed the game for the prosecution, or does it not? You know, there's a lot of cross-examination yesterday about her being allegedly a willing participant in the freak-offs, that she was encouraging them, she was proactively taking steps to move forward with them, that she had her own drug use, maybe that she wasn't necessarily Sean Combs, jealousy and love and violence in the relationship, but it's a domestic stat, not sex trafficking or racketeering. But, you know, does it negate what we heard in the first 2 days of testimony?
Jesse, I agree with Mina that that's what the defense is trying to do, to humanize him. But at the end of the day, I think the jury is going to have the indelible image of that video that's already been played several times. And the fact that they had some loving moments does not mitigate or undo what everybody has seen. It doesn't prove much to say that they had some times when they were happy together. That video shows horrible, cruel violence, and I don't see how that's going to be unseen by the jury.
Let's take some questions right now. We got a question from Ashley Glass. What does cross-examination mean? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it basically means the other side is questioning that witness. So right now, Cassandra Ventura, since she is the prime witness for the prosecution, the government, she is being cross-examined. She is being questioned by Sean Combs' lawyer. Got a question from Magra VYN54. Jesse, you're looking sharp as always. I didn't add that. It actually says this, just so you know. Jess, thank you very much. Appreciate it. My question is, when can we expect the release of Puff Daddy? So it's interesting here, Mina, because there are people, if you go on X, you go on social media, whose opinions have been swayed during the last several days. You know, they hear Cassandra Ventura's testimony, or at least they're based on the reporting of it, but they're not convinced that Diddy is guilty of these crimes. And I've said it before. This is a very complicated case, racketeering, sex trafficking. It's not that the jury can just say, oh, you know, he violently assaulted Cassandra Ventura, he's guilty. No, it's not if he sexually abused her, he's guilty. There are specific elements here, and there are people out there who believe he will be acquitted.
Well, at the end of the day, they are not in the jury pool. So the court of public opinion, I'm sorry to say, but your opinion does not matter.
Well, we hope, by the way, we hope they're not tweeting, you know, during lunch breaks. But,
right. But I think that you can't really make an opinion on day 4 of a trial, right? This is supposed to last up to, they're saying maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 months. Cassie is not, from what I'm hearing, the only alleged victim here. So we have to wait and see what these other witnesses are going to say. There's a Jane Doe that they keep mentioning. There are rumors online of who the Jane Doe is, but we have to wait, right? The federal government does not go after someone without having all their ducks in a row. Cassie, I'm pretty sure, is not the only victim here. They will present other evidence. Let's wait to see what evidence the federal government has, and then you can make your judgments and your opinions.
Okay, we have a super chat question from Nest Dog. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your contribution here. So, Ben, I'll go to you. Nest Dog asks, I don't understand the defense. It doesn't seem like they're trying to disprove the charges. It's all about the relationship?
Yeah, Nest Dog, that's an excellent question. And I had the same question about this cross-examination. I don't think it's very effective, especially, as Mina said, when you have other victims who are coming forward. If this were just a he said, she said, I could see it, but not here. I think we all have to wait, as Mina suggested, to see what the prosecution has on the more technical aspects. But I think the prosecution is wise to start with this because they have the video. And I think that really sets the stage for the jury being open to those technical parts.
I think the cross-examination is trying to negate some of the factors in a few ways, right? So the big thing with sex trafficking is force, fraud, coercion. Well, if it was consensual and she's a willing participant for so many of these encounters, does that mean that all of it was consensual? Tough to say. But then, you know, there's this idea of the power dynamic, that he controlled all aspects of her life, controlled her finances, controlled the way she looked. They tried to downplay it and say, well, he was just giving her constructive feedback about her appearance. You know, there's love in this relationship. There was jealousy, that this was, you know, maybe going to her motivations to go after him a little bit. I see what they're doing. I think this case is all going to come down to closing arguments and how each side articulates it, because it is.
End of the day, it doesn't matter how this trial ends up. I think that she is going to be an inspiration to a lot of other victims. You know, there's still a debate whether this is a sex trafficking case or not, but no one can deny that this is not domestic abuse as well. This woman has been abused mentally, physically, financially, and emotionally.
Thanks for watching. Remember to show your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing. It's a blessing. Keep your teacups filled and ready for my next upload. Until then, stay inspired and remember, always stay diligent.